Maniacs, welcome back to the channel, your local bedhead here. You're probably wondering, where's the Sam and Colby reaction? It's coming, guys. It's just going to take me a little bit longer to do, and also the boys' investigation into Sam and Colby. It is coming. I promise it's coming. But right now, I just don't have any time to react to it because I have to head to work literally within less than 2 hours, so I have to, record this, edit, post it, and then get ready to go off to work. Now, the reason why I'm jumping on this one right now is because I was messaged and asked to really look at this one and check it out because, look, the reality is, I'm not a fan of fake paranormal stuff, right? There might be some situations where I would be a little bit more lenient on just watching, knowing that maybe, hey, I know it's not real, but there's some ounce of enjoyment I get from it. But there's a fine line, I think, when it comes to faking content, right? The fake paranormal stuff, it does genuinely bother me because I'm actually fascinated. I'm interested to learn if the paranormal is even real, right? I want real evidence. I want people to be like, that was really cool. But I do not believe in all of the overdramatic screaming, yelling, story arcs, the devices that I don't really trust 100%, but we're going to pretend it's a ghost kind of stuff. A lot of people are. I think actually more people are leaning into the idea that maybe a lot of the stuff isn't really what they thought it was. And, you know, there's still a lot of people out there who know that it's not real and actually find a lot of enjoyment out of it. And look, again, there's some moments where I'm like, I actually find a lot of enjoyment out of a lot of content too. Do I wish they would be more honest about it and say whether they are really out there ghost hunting or not? Or, of course I do. Of course, I think anybody would. I think honesty is a strong key thing that I wish a lot more channels really kind of showed and emphasized on. But it's just getting to the point where it's just so hard to tell. But this video was actually I was asked if I could check out this video, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This is by Beardo Get Scared. Beardo Get Scared is a very tremendous guy, and I do find a lot of people in the debunking side of the community to be very actually rational, reasonable people. And I know what the thing is. I know people like to say, if you're part of the debunking community, you're only out there trying to ruin people's days. You're toxic as fuck. And to be honest, I have very rarely seen any sort of ounce of hate, nowhere near the level of hate that people really want to just label the debunking side of the community on. The worst I've heard it get is that people just don't like debunkers because they're out there debunking their favorite content creators. That genuinely is one of the, if not the biggest reason why debunkers are viewed the way they are. And look, at the end of the day, it's not really the debunker's fault. It's just if the people are faking or if they're getting stuff wrong, and maybe because not all debunkers are out there trying to prove that content creators are fake. They're actually even trying to help them determine whether or not what they really caught were actually paranormal or not, and if there's a rational explanation. But again, people just go strictly to the fact that they are trying to make a video something it's not, right? So like if the video comes out and it's extremely loaded with paranormal evidence and whatnot, like evidence, right? And then the debunkers come out with a video saying, well, actually, if you look at this, this is the reason why that happened, or if this, and people just lose it. They lose it. They think that they're actually trying to attack those content creators. And in some cases, the content creators will even go along with it, saying, yeah, they're being very toxic about it. When all they're trying to do is help. They're trying to give ideas, and sometimes you'll get those paranormal investigators who are like, you know, we really appreciate that, actually. That I was wondering why it would do that. And there's really cool back and forth sometimes, but sometimes there's not. Sometimes there is real like issues here. And I love the debunking side of the community. I love the paranormal side of the community. I love everything about the community itself. I'm not picking one side or the other. Now, if you had to ask me which side do I kind of lean more into, I mean, at this rate, you could probably say I probably have the mindset of a debunker, but I have the mind of a debunker in the sense that I look for common sense. I look for logical explanations before I look for paranormal explanations, because most of the time you'll notice that a lot of the stuff is logical. Some people just want to believe it's paranormal because it happened and they don't want an explanation. But that's kind of defeating the purpose of even calling it an investigation. An investigation is determining whether or not it's real or not, right? So let's go ahead and dive into this video. This video is called Paranormal Nightmare. This is Unforgivable. So I've heard of Paranormal Nightmare. I've heard of these guys. I have not watched their content, but I have heard I heard they used to be very much loved, actually, by a lot of debunkers, and then they slowly started to kind of lose that. I'm going to check out this video. So again, go support the original video, of course. And guys, I'm going to be giving my honest thoughts. That's the thing about these reactions. If Beardo makes some interesting points, I'm going to hear what he has to say and then really take it into consideration. So here we go with the video. I hope you guys enjoy. All right.
This is Jed. Jed looks like a broken man. Jed asked for help from the Foreman brothers, and this is what he got.
The one in the attic's going off right now, then.
Oh, Jesus! A little bit of footage there. You see Josh Foreman. Here's something move in the house. Something that's reported to happen in this house. He steps out of shot, and whilst he is out of shot, something bangs, and these three clowns jump about screaming, "Oh, hell no." What a way to put somebody that's asked you for help at ease.
Attic's going off the music box.
Come forward. Whoa! Jesus. Big dark shadow right here. I hope my camera caught that. I don't have no lights or anything up here.
That's right. You saw a car headlight go past the window and cast a shadow. But these three think that it's a dark mass in the room. They claim that this is a demon house. They think that it's...
Caught that.
A demon house already. What is the name of their original video?
Jesus. Big dark shadow.
Something bangs, and these three clowns jump about screaming, "Oh, hell no." What a way to put somebody that's asked you for help at ease.
Attic's going off the music box.
Come forward. Whoa!
Yep,
Jesus.
there it is.
Big dark shadow right
You see the lights of the car go by.
here. I hope my camera caught that. I don't have no lights or anything up here.
That's right. You saw a car headlight go past the window and cast a shadow. But these three think that it's a dark mass in the room. They claim that this is a demon house. This is disgusting, and this ain't the half of it.
So it seems like the owner wanted to be put at ease by their investigation, and clearly and obviously, if these guys wanted to debunk something, they could have done that, right? In post-production, they could have looked at this video and said, especially if they didn't catch it in the moment, the car passing by, they would have seen that car passing by, obviously, if Beardo caught that car passing by. And they should have been able to debunk that and put the guy at ease, saying it wasn't a shadow, it was a car going by, right? But instead, they would rather ride this concept of it being a giant shadow on the wall. I get you.
Josh, Rocky, and Sean Foreman, a.k.a. the Foreman brothers, a.k.a. Paranormal Nightmare. Three brothers who suffered a childhood haunting that have gone on to become prominent figures in the paranormal through their investigations on YouTube and their other media projects. Beardos, Weirdos, Boss Girls, how are you all doing? That little introduction I wrote there, it would fall in line with what the Foreman brothers do, what people think of the Foreman brothers, despite the fact that I've caught them faking. Anyone remember the demonic head in the window that turns out to be a bush? Mythos and the Sheep catching them faking, me catching them faking numerous times, them investigating a fake haunting from a TikTok family. But the Foreman brothers always got away with more than others because in the back of everyone's minds, but they do help people. They are so kind and they come across very well. My initial interactions with the Foreman brothers were great. They respected my opinion on things. They respected my tenacity in the way I debunk and the way in which I stand up for people when they are treated the wrong way on the platform. Up until I dared question them, and I questioned them politely. And suddenly those good old Christian boys, they turned the screw. They started banning people in the communities for supporting me. They started telling paranormal teams that they're no longer allowed to associate with them if they continue to support me.
Yeah, if that doesn't speak volumes in and of itself, guys, come on. So automatically, if a guy asks you some questions about, possible maybe over-exaggerations, debunking, or whatever have you, and all of a sudden you start treating that guy like, what is it, blacklisted in Hollywood? Like you try to blacklist him on YouTube because he just started questioning you? You've already answered everybody's questions. You really didn't help yourself at all by trying to throw out his fans. Look, I like Beardo, and to be frankly blunt with you, the second you try to tell me who I should and shouldn't like, I would never want to do a collaboration with you anyways. Never, not in the history of your existence on YouTube.
They made claims of bullying. They made claims of toxicity.
Yep.
One of the more egregious things that they did was claim that debunkers do nothing but steal content. While they were happy for me to make content about them in a positive manner, that wasn't.
Yep, it's all good until you start putting them in the spotlight, right? Until you put them in the spotlight, it's all fine and dandy. Oh, we would never do that. Hey, having a debunker kind of telling us that we're doing a good job would make probably us look more legit, right? So the second, Beardo starts questioning them, they're like, fuck this guy. He's an asshole, right? Like the same thing happened with CoffeeZilla. CoffeeZilla actually made a video and, talking about, I think it was Logan Paul at the time, and then Andrew Tate said something like, I like CoffeeZilla. I think he's a fantastic guy. And then CoffeeZilla he makes a video on Andrew Tate being a scammer, and then Andrew Tate loses his shit, saying this guy's a piece of shit human being. He sucks. His journalism is bullshit and everything like that. Yeah. The second the cameras turned on these guys, the scammers, right? They start freaking out and then trying to make everybody turn on that person. It's sad, it's pitiful, and it makes you look worse. You should never do it. Just answer the questions honestly, get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off, and just admit that you were taking advantage of people. You do yourself a lot of favors doing that, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty pathetic, in my opinion. It's pretty fucking pathetic, and there's no getting around it.
Theft. As soon as I questioned, suddenly I'm with content thief. But what happens when these good old Christian boys turn their backs on the people that made the channel for them? And I'm not talking about their audience. So if you've watched the Foreman brothers at all, you know they go into private locations where people have asked for help with hauntings, and 9 times out of 10 the Foreman brothers are quick to shout out it's demonic. In fact, the video that I'm going to be discussing, whilst not showing much of it, is labelled a demonic haunting. But that was never the case with this house. How would I know that? Because I've been speaking to the family involved in this case, the family that the Foreman brothers initially set out to help. So on the 3rd of December at 2:25 in the afternoon, I received a series of messages from a...
Sorry, is that a Mythos shirt? That's badass.
Gentleman called Jed Lineman. He doesn't mind me using his name because the episode with the Foreman brothers is still up on their channel. And obviously he uses his real name in the video, so I'm not doxing anyone here. And his message reads, "Please get in touch with me. Paranormal Nightmare done an investigation on my haunting, and I desperately need your opinion. I also have some very interesting information you will be interested in hearing about how they conduct their investigations."
Ooh.
And when I get things like this, I'm initially a little standoffish because A, I have to link that this person was really in the video, and then I have to make sure it's not just an angered fan and things like that.
Yeah, don't do what I did a while back and assume that one troll was the real owner of a certain house, right? Yeah, it sucks. It sucks when something like that happens. But yeah, you're right. You got to do more research. Got to put the work in and make sure the person who he is. 100%.
Respond with, "Hello, how can I help? Just to warn you, Paranormal Nightmare do not like me at all, and I'm not a fan of theirs. And first of all, do you have a link to the episode? I can give you my opinion on it, but I will only ever be truthful. And I have watched the episode, and it's the usual Paranormal Nightmare Foreman brothers nonsense, where the equipment and the mobile phone applications are the proof of the paranormal. Strangely, this is one of the few episodes of the Foreman brothers I've watched where things happen that are reported to happen in that house that I have not been able to debunk. But I've only quick scanned through it. There are reports of doors opening and closing on their own, of banging and knocking, and that happens in this investigation. And how do these very professional, helpful paranormal investigators react when something bangs in a room with them? They run away screaming. So Jed replies to me with, "I've been watching you a lot lately, and that's what prompted me to try and get in touch with you. I respect your work very much, and I greatly appreciate your response. I asked them for help because I had no one else to turn to, and they appeared to care about helping families. My question for you is, did they fake anything in my investigation for views? Because after the activity started back up, they have refused to have any contact with me again, or refused to have any contact with me again after the premiere. My episode is season 13, episode 6, but I'll see if I can find a link to it for you." And the Foreman brothers labelled this Demon House, Paranormal Nightmare TV. Jed makes no claims of demonic attachments. In fact, Jed isn't even religious. "I need help. I didn't want just anyone investigating this after they did because I was afraid to make it worse. They gave me absolutely no information about their findings, no explanations or anything. A month later, they dropped the episode and they have never spoken to me again. They offered no help or even advice. Thank you so much for anything and everything. Even just your concern and response is more than they have offered me. I fear I may have been used for views, and I am still suffering from this haunting with nowhere to turn. I'm right back at square one." If
that might even be worse than some of these other channels that go out and do investigations. Some people actually ask for help. It's not just about, oh, hey, yeah, if you want to investigate my house, that'd be awesome, maybe find or catch something cool. No, apparently this person really wanted help to understand what was going on in his house. And then one of these channels comes along pretending that they give a shit and then completely don't give a shit. And all they want to do, even the fact that they haven't reached out to this guy to try to ask him or, hey, here's what we caught or anything. It's like, yeah, that kind of speaks volumes. So clearly you just wanted to go in there, film a video because this guy was saying that his house was haunted, and then get out of there and, do your thing. But you really didn't care about helping him at all. And maybe you were just telling him that you cared because you just wanted another video out there, right? I mean, that's basically the bottom line. That's what vibes I get off you when I hear these kind of things. Why didn't you reach out to the guy? Why didn't you let him know that, hey, we got this, that, and this? Thank you for letting us use your house. Thank you for having us out. This is what we caught. Instead of just filming a video and then saying it's a demon house.
If you go and watch that episode, you will see the state that this family is in. The ex-wife is grieving and mourning the death of her father. This gentleman, Jed, is mourning the death of his marriage through grief, through this potential haunting. And then the Foreman brothers turn up like knights in shining armor, get the video footage, and it's the last they hear of them. So I respond with, that is truly, truly horrible. I'm so sorry this has happened to you. At a guess, they used phone apps to gather evidence, because this is before I started watching it, and that's what they do. I'm not a churchman myself, but in order for it to be demonic, it would have to be religious, as in, are you religious? If not, then the claims of demonic hauntings are just a title for clickbait for YouTube, and unfortunately, it's at your expense. If religion plays a part here, my best suggestion would be the church. I know this may sound like a horrible question, but I have to ask, is there a history with yourself with drugs and or alcohol? Because I've had suspicions for a long time that they target vulnerable people. I'm watching the episode now. The devices and the gadgets that they are using are not proof of anything paranormal.
Nope.
In fact, there's more proof of false positives than actual proof of the paranormal. And I'm sorry if these questions seem intrusive, but they cannot keep getting away with this. Jed responds with, there were no religious factors involved. We had no idea what was actually happening or what it was. So we were keeping an open mind about it all. We were searching for help. My ex-wife and I are both educated and professional, so we were trying to be careful about who we got involved. Neither of us are drug users or drinkers. We split and got divorced, and I was emotionally destroyed when all of this started. I respond with, looking at you guys in the video, the drugs don't seem to be an issue. You both look healthy. Your ex-wife is clearly grieving, which is something else people like them target. Jed responds with, you're not being intrusive at all. I asked you for your opinion, and I'm an open book, sir. And then I ask a question. Did they ask about drugs or alcohol? And Jed replies with, she was grieving for her father and I was grieving for our marriage. And then I ask, are you happy for me to cover this? And maybe someone will see this that can actually help you, not just rinse you for views and the clout on the internet. Now, the reason these comments are kind of seem jumbly is I was actually live streaming when these messages first started to come in. This initial chat was about...
You know what? This is terrible for actual paranormal investigators on YouTube. This is not going to help paranormal investigators on YouTube because this is just going to make them look like they're out for clout, right? That's what they're out for. They're out for clout. All they care about is views. All they care about is the next location, and any place that probably has no actual historical evidence or documentation, a place that's just everyday kind of place. Easy views. We can make it demonic and nobody's going to know about it, right? So yeah, you can pretty much make a story out of it. If it's not well known already, it doesn't help. I almost doubt that this family would ever want to bring in another content creator, paranormal investigator ever again because of what the Foreman brothers have just pulled, right? Yeah, it's sad. That's sad. They actually really wanted help, and in a sense, they got backstabbed. Yeah, it's a great look for content creators right there.
6 hours, and obviously I'm busy, he's busy, so we're kind of answering questions from further up, but we've already posted the next question. That's why it seems a bit jumbled. All of this will be on screen for you guys to see. If I tell you something man to man, can you promise me that it will not be connected to me in the future? And I reply, I won't do or say anything you don't want me to. I won't make any content about this if you don't want it. It's just that I'm in the UK and I can't offer a lot other than a voice and trying to show the brothers for what they really are. And I actually feel sick at the state of your ex-wife is in over this, because at this point I'm still watching the video. Please understand that I'm not for a second doubting what you guys are or have been through. The pain in both of your faces isn't easy to act out. Jed replies, I'm a very respectful and respectable man, and I don't want to be the same as these guys by outing them for their personal issues. So that's getting a bit odd, right? But I totally agree with you that their practices need to be stopped. I am the most upset about how we were treated when we asked for help. They showed up for the investigation and they reeked of alcohol. Now, this bit was initially not going to be included in this video, but in discussions with Jed and me saying, look, if you want me to out them for everything, I'll out them for everything. If you want me to leave the alcohol out of this, we'll leave that out. And then Jed asks the question, how can one focus on an investigation if they have been drinking? And I'll reply simply with, they can't. Now, this is not me saying that the Foreman brothers are turning up to this place reeking of alcohol. This is the homeowner. This is the person that has asked them out for help, and he can smell alcohol on them on arrival. Best, unprofessional. At worst, completely inappropriate. But again, we can't prove that they were smelling of alcohol. This is just Jed's word. But if I'm going to side with one side over the other, am I going to side with the channel that has been caught out lying on numerous occasions, or this guy that's come to me for help?
Exactly my point. When I tell you, if you ever start a YouTube channel, be honest. Just be honest. Because, like, even, let's say, for example, let's say Jed wasn't telling the truth about them drinking. I'm not saying he is, right? I'm not saying he's lying about that. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of leaning in more the concept that he is telling the truth about them drinking. Well, let's say he was lying about it, right? Because these guys are so known for telling lies, why should we trust anything they say, right? So stop lying on your channel, even knowing you say it's for fun, it's for the entertainment factor. Well, if you're lying about this, why can't you be lying about that, right? I mean, that's the bottom line truth of the matter. It spreads, and it makes you look bad. It just makes you look bad, because now you're known as a liar. So, again, I'm not saying I'm actually leaning more into he's probably telling the truth, right? I don't think he would risk getting into a feud, right, with these guys unless he felt like he truly was taken advantage of. I just don't see him doing that, so...
And help he's getting from me. I was a complete skeptic before all of this started up in my home, and I spent well over a year dismissing everything that was happening before I finally reached out to someone for help, then wound up being used for views and left behind with absolutely no info on what I was dealing with. So I'm still replying here to the alcohol thing. Anything that alters your state of mind cannot be trusted. Apart from that, it's really unprofessional. How do you want me to approach this? I can leave out or put in anything that you want or need to say in. The fact they do not offer aftercare is something I've been trying to prove for a while. In regards to the haunting, have you had your boiler checked? Leaking gas can cause a whole host of problems. Then you need to establish, is there a railway station nearby or railway lines? Because infrasound can affect people in a massive way, and while I don't believe EMF causes the issues that many people claim it's also worth having your electrics checked. Try to rule out all of the normal things before paranormal. If all of that is clear, then potentially there is a haunting. I don't like to use the word demon because it's so heavily tied to religions, and I personally believe religions are man-made. But I do believe there is something after we go. If I can make a video of this, maybe we can get you some proper help of people that actually know what they are doing and actually care. I'm friends with Jason Halls, and while he may not be able to help directly, maybe he can point us in the direction of someone reputable that can. I will help as much as I can here. I didn't go to Jason Halls in the end because I found help closer by to Jed, somebody else that I trust in the field to help a family out. So Jed has reached out to other families they investigated to see if they got the same results, and it's clearly a trend with them. Again, I have no proof of this is just what Jed is telling me. All I wanted was some information or opinions on what I was dealing with and what to do about it. Thank you so much for your concern, brother. It means the world to me. I reply with, so they are having things pushed over and moved in the video. Is this something that you experienced, aka poltergeist activity? Jed responds, I've actually done a bunch of research and done some more scientific investigations on my own. I do have a lot of factors such as the ones you've mentioned. My main issue is none of the strange stuff started until several years after I bought the home, and then the trauma happened, as in the wife's father passing away. But the door slamming and the footsteps are very common in this house. It got so bad we thought someone was sneaking inside the house or frogging us. If you don't know what frogging is, it's people, for some bizarre reason, break into houses, live in the attic and crawl spaces, and then they mess with the family, but eat their food and leave things out of place to freak the...
It's kind of like a borrower, but a full-size person, right? So, like, borrowers are like, the little people who sneak into your houses and live in the houses and everything, and you wake up and, like, your cheese is missing or half of your cheese is missing or things like that. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but a full-grown person. Scary.
Family while they're living there, watching them get freaked out. So my reply, okay, so my first thought is obviously the grief. It can and will affect people to huge degrees. And in times of stress or upset, our human minds are capable of doing amazing things. Like when weak people lift cars off kids, etc. because of the adrenaline and your mind kicking into gear. Most poltergeist cases seem to be centered around kids in the teens, mostly female kids in their teens. puberty, etc. The mind is all over the place, and then suddenly things start to move and lights start to flicker. I'm wondering if your ex-wife's grief was so powerful that she somehow could have caused this. I'm not blaming her or saying that's what happened. I'm trying to look at all of the angles. The more information I have, the better. I could potentially get you some help. Is this haunting still happening? Is it still happening to the same degree, worse, or not at all? While showing the Foreman brothers up for what they really are would be an absolute pleasure, I'm not just going to throw out a video out there and let you sink. And also, did they ask any of the questions that I've asked? Jed responds with, the activity calmed down after the cleansing, but it started back up. That's why I tried to get back a hold of them to see what I could do about it. The grief between us was definitely a factor. She moved back in with me shortly after the investigation, and a couple of months after that, it slowly started back up, but we dismissed most of it. I'm not trying to puff myself up, but I do one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, and I was a fighter for a long time, and I thrive on stress and pressure. But after a couple of years of this strange shit, I'm afraid of walking around this damn house in the dark. It sounds silly, but the things we hear and see are just too much to be explained away. While I may have come across a little sort of dismissive there, this is me trying to get a reading on Jed, because if Jed responds in anger to me probing about the haunting, probing about his relationship, then I've got to take that into consideration, that he's quick to trigger, quick to fire off, and that's not what happened here. He was welcoming of my questioning, no matter how intrusive I got. I mean, to the point where I even say, you know, was your ex-wife responsible for this? And he doesn't overreact. He doesn't shift the blame. Sorry,
Yeah.
something else.
It seems like Jed is actually truly out there to seek help for anything that's going on in his house, and he's willing to answer almost any question to make sure that he does get that help. Got to give him credit. You got to give him credit. Even these personal questions that are being asked, he seems like he's keeping it calm, which is, again, if he were to snap and lose his temper and, you know, say, you know, F you, actually, you know, get out of here, you're just a troll or whatever, then yeah, I would be like, okay, well.
To ask any history of mental health, not just depression, but anything at all. Not for me to poo-poo your experiences away, but it's something they should ask before they ever step foot in someone's home. Most of the people they help live in poor conditions where drugs and alcohols are seemingly playing a part. They're the most immoral, irresponsible channel out there, and I'm absolutely disgusted that I thought for a time these were the good guys. And it doesn't sound silly at all. I did security for 13 years. I was a court-appointed bailiff slash bounty hunter slash debt collector for a while. The reason I put bounty hunter in there, it's not called bounty hunting in the UK. I served warrants for people that skipped bail. In the States it would be called bounty hunting. In the UK it's nowhere near as exciting. You turn up at their house, if they open the door, you sling them in a van, you take them to the police station or to court. I'm capable of being pretty fearless, but I've had experiences that have scared the shit out of me. Jed replies, I remember when you believed they were legit. I don't know if they believe that what they're doing is right and just refuse to change or what, but just ditching us afterwards was totally wrong. And then I apologise for swearing because it's a bad habit of mine and I haven't heard this guy swear. I don't want to offend him. Don't be, we are real people too, brother. They did ask those questions and they made us sign a bunch of paperwork, but we never got the copies of. Now this paperwork, it could be for rights to the footage. I've had this at haunted locations or paid locations. You have to sign waivers. But to turn up into somebody else's house and ask them to sign a waiver,
it's a bit odd.
It seems a bit strange.
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
It's just for the rights for the video footage. But they don't have proof. Nothing was ever provided after the fact. I respond with, I don't think they believe in any of it. Maybe they started legit, but the people they work with now, the people they show support to, shows it all. So again, I then get into a conversation about them banning people from working with them and, you know, kicking people out of live streams for wearing Beardo t-shirts and the profile pictures on the YouTube videos, etc. And I say, I assume the paperwork was for the rights to the footage to remain with them. So I get into the paperwork and what it could be, but Jed doesn't know. Then I ask, what was the last contact they had with you? Jed replies with, Sean responded to my wife a couple of times directly after the investigation, but never once to me, and I also found that suspicious. Especially in the situation her and I were in at the time, and him drinking during our investigation. I found that disrespectful. So not only have they turned up reeking of alcohol, and potentially from what I'm reading here, were they drinking on the investigation, or at the very least Sean was drinking on the investigation, but he's messaging recently split ex-wife, refuses to engage with Jed, but spoke to his ex-wife.
That's... yeah, I mean, that's a bit...
I'm not going to put 2 and 2 together here to come up with 4, but alarm bells are ringing, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's... again, you hear that shit and it speaks. I mean, what is your excuse for not messaging Jed, right? What's your excuse?
A vulnerable lady, and that's who he speaks to, not the man. When they were wrapping up at the end of the night, Josh told us he would become an ordained minister just to remarry her and I if we chose to do so. I trusted them with everything, and I feel totally betrayed now. Imagine your knights in shining armour turn up, they help you, and then they offer you aftercare. They offer to a very personal help in getting your marriage back on track, and then as soon as that door is closed, it's closed. Apart from messaging your ex-wife. Okay, so what are you happy with me bringing up from this conversation? I'm going to speak to a guy I know, Jeff. He runs a channel called Boo Productions. He's a good, honest guy, and he used to be part of the Warren Foundation. He's taken a huge leap, leaving them and siding with debunkers, but he's investigated a ton of homes and he's not about the views. I am so sorry you've been treated this way. Jed replies with, I'm comfortable with anything you decide to use. I feel like an asshole for telling you they were drinking. I don't want to ruin anyone's personal image. What they've done is wrong, yes, but I don't want to damage anything personal like that. What do you think? I reply with, they didn't think of the damage turning up under the influence, even if it's only 1 or 2 drinks.
To me, it's not your fault if you do say something. You expected professional paranormal investigators, and what you got was a complete shit show, from what it sounds like. And, dude, message his ex-wife. To message the man's ex-wife after he's been grieving about it? What the fuck? Makes you want to rub your eyes, doesn't it?
But I can by all means leave that out. What area of the States are you from, just so I know for asking to get help to you? I can't promise anything, but I'll do my best to not only show them for what they are, but to try and get you some help. And then this bit blew my mind. Jed replies, they came back to our town and done an episode on a pure faker that I know faked it because he had seen our episode, and they still refused to speak to us. The episode was absolutely horrible, so I know what they are doing it. So I know that they are doing it for views. There is nothing but a toilet flush in the whole episode. So then I say, you know, I wouldn't put it past them, basically, because they've investigated a fake haunting by a famous TikToker. There's nothing they won't do for views, and it's sickening that they called me the bad guy. So Jed tells me where he lives, and then thank you again so much for everything. I am so happy that I reached out to you. You present yourself in such a real and honest manner that I trusted you right away. But reply with, you're not the asshole here, Jed. They have used you and your family and your family's grief.
Yep.
Jed replies, the truth hurts sometimes, brother, and that TikTok episode you were talking about was the beginning of the end for them. I reply, what's worse is they potentially stumbled into a real haunting and they have made a mockery of it with these stupid devices and then turning their back when they got their pound of flesh. I'm angry for you. I have taken a few underhanded swipes at them before, like saying, good old Christian boys, you're not very Christian, but I'm passionate about this. Jed replies, there is so much more to this, all that her and I would like to tell you. Maybe we could do a video call or something sometime so we don't have to type it all out. It's up to you, in the interest of getting out as much information as possible. I'll reply with, absolutely. Okay, I've also spoken to Jeff Slater, who is only an hour and a half from you. And should you want or need his help, he will happily speak to you as soon as tonight if need be, to get a feel for what's going on in your home and look at getting you some help. Do you have a preferred contact method he can speak to you on? So then I basically exchanged numbers between the parties and kind of introduce them, tell Jeff the backstory, exactly what's gone on, the Foreman brothers' involvement, times that these guys are available to speak, etc. I also then tried to put Jed at ease with saying Jeff has had to help people in the aftermath of YouTubers and ghost hunters before. I trust the guy, and luckily, considering the size of the United States, he lives relatively close by. He may even be able to put your mind at ease a bit. It's never a problem. You're an absolute blessing. Is there anything I can do to show you my appreciation? No, there's not, Jed. You coming to me with trust is more than enough. But okay, Jeff is going to drop you a message once he's done with work, touch base with you and arrange things with you. And Jed, despite what people tell you, I don't do this for money. Sure, YouTube pays me, but when someone is in need, that shit is free. No paranormal investigator worth a damn would charge anyone for help with something like this. Jed replies, you're a solid guy, I'm very old school, and a man who is only as good as his integrity. Thank you for everything, and please have a blessed day.
It's pretty sad when Beardo himself is an investigator. You know, he's not just a debunker. He's also a paranormal investigator. Another paranormal investigator has to clean up supposedly a couple of other professional investigators, right? He has to clean up their mess. Help put a man at ease. That's something.
Today is my birthday, and you have just given me the best gift a guy could ask for. Peace of mind for my family. So then I wish Jed a happy birthday, and hopefully this will be the start of good times for you. Again, I can't promise you anything, but I'll do what I can. Have a great birthday. You've already done plenty, thanks again, sir. And then the next day, I get a message from Jed. I just wanted to let you know that Jeff called me and we've had a very pleasant conversation. Him and his wife are going to help me and my family, and I have you to thank for that. You are a new friend. I'll respond with, you're very welcome. Keep your chin up. The cavalry has arrived. Lol. Jed responds, you guys have definitely given my wife the hope and relief that she...
Yet the debunking side of the community are a bunch of toxic assholes. It's not even just about being a debunker or just a typical paranormal investigator. It's about doing what's right. It's about actually helping people. Some people are actually dealing with these so-called haunted locations, and not all of them are haunted. Not saying that this house isn't haunted, but still. And they're actually seeking help because they want to be clarified that there are reasonable, logical explanations for why the things that are happening around their house are happening. And then you got content creators who will go into these places and completely just take advantage. Completely take advantage. Trusting these guys with your issues, your personal lives, and to use that, he's right. No, he has to say this is unforgivable is not a stretch. It's more of a stretch to claim a house is a demonic house app because a phone app told you so, right?
So much needed for her and my daughter. They are my concern. I just can't thank you enough, and I'm looking forward to seeing your coverage of our story if you so choose to use it. I reply with, oh, I'll be covering it. And with your permission, maybe a multiple part series. The first part being your story, as told through the text. Second part, if you're up for it, a recorded video call. Third part, the follow-up with the help from Boo Productions and the findings. I'm also hoping it'll make others want to speak out. Jed replies with, I believe in your cause and I want to be a part of it. I would love to do a video chat with you and my wife, and we are going to do one with Boo Productions and his wife as well. You guys are helping us and we want to help you guys too. Truth is power, my friend. Spread the word and keep in touch. I respond with, absolutely, I'm actually excited for this.
That's why I always say, honesty is key. Truth is love. So when I was covering the whole Satori and Cody thing, and they were saying that the message is love, right? And you guys know, I just don't believe in the method, so I don't feel like that message is really all there. There's no power behind them saying that because what it's based on is, in my opinion, not truthful. So, honesty, truth is the real love. Even if the truth is painful, even if it's not what you want to hear, it's the truth, right? So,
it could help so many people. Thank you for trusting me. And then Jed's replied, and I didn't see this until just now. You guys have really opened our eyes to what those guys are doing to people. They have time to go live for hours at a time or on vacation enjoying their families, but they can send a text to hook us up with someone that can help. You guys don't know us or owe us, and you have already done more for us in a day than they did together. And they are getting paid for our pain. We shared our lives with those guys because we thought they wanted to help. You're absolutely right. Together, we can help people from going through this mess. Just imagine,
absolute animals,
for a second, if you're a believer or a non-believer, that there is something going on in your home, that you are terrified of your own home, and then you see these reputable paranormal explorers, these guys that do God's work, anointing places with holy oil, casting evil spirits out, and you fall hook, line and sinker for it, and then the video goes out without any input from you. And then when you reach out after the fact for more help, you're greeted with nothing. This is a year later that these have been going through this. After a year, they have to approach a debunker. And in one day...
They gave them plenty of time to reach out and talk to them about it. Plenty of time. So you can't just say, oh, well, if you had reached out to us more, we would have gotten back to you. No, you've had a year to really reach out to these guys and let them and tell them how they can be helped.
I managed to get hold of somebody that can get them the help, that has had a conversation with them the same day. And I know Jeff is planning on visiting there, and they're planning on having these video calls and conferences, and we're going to record as much of this as we can, because I think it's important that everybody out there sees what the Foreman brothers really are and what they're really doing. This isn't about helping families, and this is something I bought into. I thought these guys were genuinely trying to help families. I gave them a bit of a pass on some of their investigation methods because at the end of the day, they were helping people. But they're not. They turn up with the cameras and they help people, but as soon as those cameras switch off, they're out of there. They don't go back. Unless maybe the initial video did really well, then maybe they'll go back. They have left somebody in limbo for nearly a year, and they have to approach somebody on the other side of the world, try to help them out. Now, in regards to the Foreman's video at this place, there are some bumps and knocks and door movements that could have been faked, but it's unclear. So potentially they actually stumbled into a real haunting here. And what do? They title it Demon. They haven't titled it Demon because that's what they believe what it is. They have titled it Demon because
clickbait.
that is what triggers the YouTube algorithm. The only demons that were in...
Maybe I should like put demon on the thumbnail of this video and see how many people click on it. The only demon that was conjured here was the bullshit. That's the only demon that was conjured here, fellas. It was the bullshit.
House were called Rocky, Sean, and Josh. They are the evil entities in that house for putting that family through this crap. To then put out a video stating it was demonic activity when that was never on the table. They haven't looked at any logical explanations. They've just gone in with all the beepy flat.
I gotta speak because like this bothers me so badly. Demon is used so fucking much, okay? So much anymore. What the hell is even a demon anymore? What does a demon do that you should know it's a demon besides a phone app telling you demonic, right? Beelzebub, Lucifer, darkness. A phone app tells you this stuff, and automatically that means a demonic presence is in this building with us right now. It's gotten so fucking, it's easy. I don't know. The light's red, right? This light right here is red. But isn't that like the color of hell? So doesn't that mean there's a demon in my room? Of course not. Of course not. But that's how easy it is anymore.
Flashy devices and gone, yep, that's a demon. But they didn't even tell the family that. The family had to wait a month for the video to get edited and go out before they saw what the Foreman brothers think this is. And again, I am only reporting.
When we did our investigation for the Blair house, me and Cinnamon went back to the house and we had an actual conversation with Kristen Lee. And we told her everything that happened. And we were honest, we didn't catch much. And she was like, that's a shame because some days are actually more active. And we believed her. We were never saying that the Blair house is not haunted. But the night we were there, we didn't catch nothing. And that's just the reality. Right? So we were very honest and open about that. And she accepted that. She was very kind. Oh my God, Kristen Lee's such an amazing person. She was very nice. But
and on what this homeowner has brought to me. So the next episode I will be doing on this will be a video call conference between myself, Jed, and his ex-wife, because his ex-wife is still traumatized by this, and Jed is still trying to help his ex-wife. Not many men do that sort of thing. This is the judge of character that I'm getting from Jed. I poked and I prodded a little bit to see if he would snap back at me or tell me to shut up or mind my own business or don't do this, don't do that. He didn't do any of those things. He has
answered
been
all
a
the questions.
completely open book about all of this. Any of the prodding never made it uncomfortable, and I assume, and as far as I know, Jeff has had the same interactions with him because they spoke that night. This is my interactions with Jeff from Boo Productions. Hey Jeff, I may need your help with something. I just need permission before I pull the trigger.
Jeff's a nice guy, by the way. Go subscribe to Boo Productions. Absolute badass dude. Again, most of the people I have met who are more into like the debunking side of the community, like they want to use logic over just believing everything's a ghost, are very nice people. Very nice people. I truly do not understand. The only thing I can understand why the paranormal, the debunking community side of the community is being just completely labeled as toxic is because they don't like the idea that they're just pointing out the logical sides of paranormal investigations, the reasonable, understandable sides of it. The stuff that will debunk, yes, paranormal evidence. But isn't that what you should be doing anyways? I'm so confused on that. Like, that's what an investigation's all about, okay? It's just, there's no reason for that. There's no reason to label them as toxic. I've seen toxic in real life. I know what toxic is. Not even close. Not even close.
It's the fucking Foreman brothers. Real shady shit and a family left in the lurch. They've been pulled apart by all of this. They're still haunted and still scared of their own home. So I may need your help directing them to better help from trusted sources. And you are one of the few Americans I know that won't take the piss out of them for views and clout. and this guy needs help. Jeff responds, you know where he's from. The brothers make a lot of videos close to where I live. I'll definitely try to help the guy, and none of it will be on YouTube. I reply, we've not yet. I've got the episode, but I'm waiting for permission before I share anything private with you. Hopefully you or someone you know will be able to help him, or even just speak to him. I'll keep you informed as I find out, because I'm raging at those 3 idiots. Brocky, Sean, and Josh. And then I tell Jeff where this guy is from. Jeff replies, keep me in the loop. Almost every client that I've ever dealt with has had some ghost hunter or psychic scare the shit out of them before they contact us. And the Foremans are worse than any string pulling or masking that the others do. This guy's only an hour and a half from me as we are in Toledo, Ohio. So I thank Jeff. You're a legend. Thank you so much. I don't want to do what the Foremans did.
How close is this? I live in Ohio too.
Take the content and run. I've obviously said I can't promise them it'll get fixed, but I can try and get good people to attempt to help. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff replies, I'll keep it to myself, but is there a paranormal nightmare episode about this guy? And I've given him the episode. So we confirm times and dates and things like that, exchange numbers, and then the next day I get an update from Jeff. Well, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, because obviously time zones. Just an update. Dana and I have talked to them for over an hour tonight. We did our thing trying to tone down the fear. We have an official interview set up with them on Thursday to do our questionnaire. They seem like a genuine small town normal people. My blood pressure is high because I can't stand the Foreman brothers. They were very happy that you hooked us up. And I reply with, awesome, thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate you taking this on. And we have a conversation about spectral paranormal and the absolutely shocking behavior in the community recently. I'm in the UK. I don't do residential hauntings because I think it's dangerous to do it without the right mindset and without the right intentions. I think it's very, very dangerous to go into somebody's home and convince them that yes, it is haunted, or push the beliefs that it's haunted. I think it's even more dangerous to say the word demonic at the same point without understanding mental health and things. I think it's dangerous to go into somebody's house that truly believes it's haunted, potentially by a family member, and then say, nah, nothing here, mate. I think that could do damage. There are so many things that you have to take into account before you step foot over somebody's door to investigate their claims. Now, Jeff, I trust because I know of his history, numerous paranormal locations.
It's probably why I probably wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to put myself in those shoes anyways. You know, when it comes to like these very well-known local places, of course I'd be open to do that. But he's right. Going into someone's house, people, everyday people, and trying to determine whether or not their house is really haunted or not, like he said, there's so many things you should take into consideration, and he's making great points, man. He's making great points.
Residential hauntings and things. And
now, the house that we're going to be investigating is completely abandoned and is actually owned by my friend's dad, and nobody lives in the house. So that's more of an abandoned building kind of thing. But we're going to go in there and see if it's haunted regardless, right? So nobody lives in there. So that's a bit different. But yeah, he's right. If this is like an everyday home, like my neighbor's house, if I walked over there and said, hey, is there anything bothering you? And she's like, oh, yeah, it's fucking... So doors are opening and shutting and stuff, and we go in there and we don't know everything about what she's going through, or you can't. Wow.
He's not in it for shock value. He's not in it to make a YouTube video. He's not in it for clicks or views. So while Jed has approached me for help and to out his experience, which is exactly what I'm doing here, I haven't just taken what he's asked me to look at and run with it and gone, oh, here's your video. Woohoo! There's aftercare going to happen here. I'm keeping in touch with Jeff from Boo Productions about anything that happens in this case involving Jeff and Jed, I will be informed of. I will keep in contact with Jed. I will have this video call with Jed. It'll probably be in the new year now, but we'll be recording it so you guys can see our interactions. If we can get Jeff from Boo Productions involved in that live, absolutely fine. In that recording, absolutely fine. He may not want to because he doesn't do that residential stuff for growth on YouTube. I think it's important that people understand that there is help out there for them. The debunkers, while we physically may not be able to help people out, we can direct people to more reputable sources, people that are not about the clicks and the views. It genuinely makes me wonder what could have happened here if Jed's message had got lost in with the influx of people sending me Ring doorbell footage and really bad CCTV footage of ghosts in their houses. I wonder what could have happened if I couldn't have offered him the help. Kind of worrying, right? Now, I am some guy at the other end of the world with a far smaller reach, and in one day put these people more at ease than these apparent professional God Squad boys. I think the Foreman brothers are vile for this. Now, it could just be that these guys are busy. It could just be that they've forgotten the case. But they've got a duty of care too.
But yeah, then why make the promises and comfort these people saying that you're going to help them if you're not going to go through with it all the way, right?
every family they have ever worked with. If they have been into somebody's house, and found signs of a haunting, or pretended they found signs of a haunting, then they have a duty of care to make sure that family is safe. Safe from their own mental health, safe from a potential demonic infestation. Not that I believe in it, but these people will. These people fall hook, line, and sinker for this bullshit. And this is the type of thing that really, really grips my shit. This is the type of thing that is going to lead to somebody taking their own life. And the Foreman brothers, or people like them, will ultimately be held accountable and responsible for it. They are not behaving in the correct way. They are not doing anything right here. You cannot go into a house, pull out one of these, pull out a spirit box radio, pull up your ghost tube or your spirit talker or any of the devices, and then say, yeah, your house is haunted. Not only is it haunted, but it's demonic. They titled this video Demonic.
The fact of the matter is there's such a difference. Obviously, you know a video where they're going to go into this location, a very well-known haunted location, and they're going to have fun. Okay, you know the difference. There's a fun paranormal investigation, the ones that, you see most of these really big channels doing, and then there's the ones where, like these guys who are going out there saying they're going to help people truly understand what's going on in their homes, and then taking complete advantage of it, is a big difference, right? There's a big, big difference. Where people were really looking for help. This isn't about, hey, here's, $1,000, go investigate for the night, have fun, tell us what you catch, fantastic, it's a business, buy a shirt, great, great stuff, right? But then there's, again, the people who are actually really concerned about the safety of their family. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Because of a few knocks and then the gear going off. How does the Foreman's brothers' equipment trigger more than anyone else's? Well, not anyone else's, but it triggers about as often as Omar's, the twin. Can you see where I'm going? In my experience,
yeah,
the equipment doesn't trigger that often. Very rare does the equipment trigger, unless of course you know how to manipulate the equipment.
Yeah,
to go
again, and the only thing I can compare it to is my Blair House experience, and I can say this without a doubt that the REM pod does not go off as often as I see in most videos. Never does. It goes off, don't get me wrong, but not nearly as much. Not nearly.
Somebody's house, potentially, be triggering that equipment for views and clicks on your own channel. Not give your findings to the family and then a month later put up a video saying it's a demon. Congratulations, Rocky, Josh, and Sean. You have scared the shit out of these people, and you have left them scared for an entire year, to the point where they have to approach somebody halfway around the world for me to circle back around to halfway around the world to get them the help that you should have provided them in the first place. Or better still, not go there, label it demonic. If you had never gone there, this wouldn't have been as much of a problem. You took a grieving family, a grieving family that are in tatters. They are split up because of this haunting. The haunting is what caused them to split up. You go there and cleanse the place. The haunting seems to stop. They actually rebuild their relationship. And then when things start happening again, they reach out to help from you. Nothing. Crickets. Apart from early on when Sean would only reply to the obviously broken down female. Like I've said, I have had my suspicions about you guys for quite some time. You have been caught numerous times faking, but this is next level shit.
You're pretty much it's pretty much kicking a family while they're down and just making it worse. And yeah, the messaging the fucking broken down wife. Ho
I'd have had more respect for you if all of these families were paid off to act, but they're not. You're convincing these people that you're legitimate. You're convincing these people that you're doing the Lord's work, and then you turn your back on them and you just walk away and leave them sink or swim. Absolutely abhorrent behavior. And then when the shape catches you faking, when Mythos catches you faking, when I catch you faking, we're nothing but bullies and content thieves. Now who's the bad guys? Now who are the bad guys? Is it the 3 debunkers? I don't think so. Or is it the 3 guys that enter people's homes under false pretenses, offering them love, care, support, the light of God, and as soon as you finish pressing record on that camera, you're done with them. Scrape them off. Done. On to the next cash cow. I will not be letting this slide. I will not be letting this give up. So a message to anyone that's watching this that's been like, hey, I've had an experience like that with the Foreman brothers. In my channel description, there is an email address, beardosteam@gmail.com. If you've had these experiences at the hands of the Foreman brothers, please email that. My moderating team will go through those emails and forward them to me. Make sure you leave a way for me to contact you, and then I will do my due diligence. I will make sure that I can match up the person you say you are with the episode and make sure that those things intersect. Unfortunately, if there are issues with drugs and alcohol, I won't be able to help there, because I have no training in drugs or alcohol dependency at all.
At least
I have
you're
no
honest.
training in mental health. It would be immoral of me to pretend that I can help with that when I cannot. I can only help with getting your story out there. If you feel that you have been betrayed or let down by the Foreman brothers or any other team, if other teams have been into your home, made outlandish claims and then just left you to it, scared of your own home.
This is, again, I go back to this all the time. If you make a YouTube channel, and people have reached out to me saying that I've inspired them to actually start doing paranormal investigations, which is crazy cool because I'm only a reactor. Don't lie. Don't lie. And don't use obviously fake, stupid equipment. You know, it's okay to test them and have experiments with them. Sure. You know, as long as you're aware that it's not really, you know, it's not like this is a ghost, factual, right? Please don't lie, because this is the problem. Like, there's too many liars and too many fake channels out there that are now going to be called out for pretending to be something they're not, and then taking complete advantage of people. This is a serious problem, and it's happening too much. It just is, and this is why you shouldn't do it, because people like Beardo, people like Mythos, people like The Shape. The names go on. Call them out, and they get viewed probably in the right way they should be viewed, as liars, con artists, cheats, scammers. They're there. Even if you don't want to believe they're there, they are there, and they will continue to do it for as long as they possibly can until the day when someone truly shows the facts, shows the proof, and calls them out. And this is going to start happening more and more and more. I'm not saying anybody out there is like 100% faking. I'm not trying to sit here and say that this person's fake, this person's fake, this person's fake, but one day it's going to be placed out on the table.
And you want those people outed, then come to me, because I will out anyone, and I will out anyone without a care in the world, with my conscience clear. This is something I never ask people to do. Share this video, please. Share this video so people that are out there that are struggling after morally bankrupt paranormal investigators have been into the homes and scared the shit out of them, realise there's help out there for them. Jeff from Boo Productions being able to reach out to people via phone calls, text messages or whatever, and talk with common sense and try to put people at ease is far more important than views and clicks and likes and all the rest of it. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, I understand this is going to be a touchy subject. People are going to be rightly livid at this. Fans of the brothers, people that are not fans of the brothers. There's going to be a mix of emotions, I imagine, from a lot of people. But please, don't let this descend into name-calling and mudslinging. And the fact is, I have been approached by what I perceive to be a victim of the Foreman brothers, and I have told his story. Part one of his story. Because despite what all of these fakers, liars, and people screaming para unity right now will tell you, we actually give a fuck. Much love to you all. Beardo.
Nice,
out.
man. Then ask yourself, if it's an attachment to the family, then why did this happen? Yeah, a lot of things they captured in the episode were things we had already encountered before. They came, the biggest things that bothered us, we believed to be attached to ourselves, and we wanted to be a part of the investigation to try to show them that, but they would not allow us to be here during. We were not even allowed to sit in the driveway. We were asked to not be on the property at all, which makes it, again, very convenient and very easy for them to set stuff up and then take the stuff down when they would come back around. Can't prove that, but it does leave it there, especially when they want to be involved. If you got nothing to hide, why not? Right? Why not? If I were to investigate this house, I would actually be okay with them there, especially if they truly believe there's an attachment. I would be like, yes, it would be fantastic to have you there so we can ask questions and see if we can get something to, you know, if it's not responding to me, maybe it will respond to you, right? That's a reasonable thing to do. I can't talk about this too much longer because I have to actually go downstairs and get ready for work, but I will say this goes to show that the people that you might look up to might not be exactly who you think they are. Again, kind of like Beardo, I can't really say too much because, again, we don't have the actual physical proof that this was happening and that was happening, but at the same time, Why would someone want to lie about this? I don't know. And again, I would actually encourage people like Beardo, if you had experiences with these guys, did you experience anything that was similar to what Jed had experienced with them? Let me know, everybody, what your thoughts are on this. Leave a comment down below. Again, I have not seen a whole lot of their, the Foreman brothers content, but this certainly does not make me too excited to check it out. So let me know what you think down below, and until next time, please do take care. It's been a couple days since I've reacted to this video, and I was going to post it that day, but unfortunately, I had to book it to work. There was no time, and last night, me and Cinnamon actually conducted a little investigation at an abandoned house, which was was quite fun, honestly. The Paranormal Nightmare team have responded to Beardo's video and have posted text messages from them and Jed, the guy who made his complaint to Beardo about the Paranormal Nightmare crew. I figured I would go ahead and check out their post, see what they say, and see what side that they're telling, because this could be interesting. And you know what? I'm going to try to give them a fair shot at defending themselves, if need be. This is the Paranormal Nightmare page. This is what they said, and this was a day ago, so this was around the time Beardo posted his video. All right, Paranormal Nightmare TV series. Just to clear up some of the misinformation, all clients we work with are told upfront there are no guarantees. We will do our best to pray everything will eventually get better. As all of you know, not every case has a happy ending. We continue to pray for this family. People need to get both sides of the story and not make everything one-sided just to attack someone. Then again, I've heard Paranormal Nightmare also encourages their audience to take a side, right? So like, I'm not really sure how I feel about that yet, but this is what I hear about them. So it's not going to let me see the full thing. I can. Let me go ahead and reread all those with the actual full context of what I'm looking at. We're so happy that we get to meet you guys too. I have done a ton of research on the paranormal groups, and you guys are the ones for the job. You do not care about publicity. You care about families. You guys are a blessing. Also, this location has never been investigated. We are next door to a real castle that's on a haunted Ohio website and block away from abandoned Wagnerware foundry that we urban explore. We also brought a lot of things home from there too. Hey brother, I'm not so much concerned about the episode as I'm seeing what you guys found in the house. It is acting up again around here. Not as bad as before, but if I had some information about what's here, I may be able to fight it. I have been doing tons of cleansing work pretty much every day to keep it at bay. Her name is Terry. I'm sorry if we bother you guys. We just feel this strong connection with all of you. Her and I have been talking about asking you guys if we could take you guys somewhere nice to eat someday. I mean, in the future, we could sit down at a steakhouse and hang out and talk. We just want to give something back for helping our family. So this is after the fact. This is after the investigation. I got you now. I hope you get feeling better, partner. We pray for you guys. And the next time we got your P.O. box. Now we are putting together gift packages for you guys. We don't... Yeah, I can't read that. We don't know what you guys like, but maybe we can put the time we get to your guys' P.O. box. So now we are putting together a gift package for you guys. We don't know what you guys like. Maybe we could put together care packages to help with our future investigations as well. Please keep in touch whenever you can. I know you guys have millions of people that are always trying to reach out to you and get in touch, but we all seem to have a lot in common as far as feeling like no one understands us and always feeling like we are alone. Even when there are tons of people surrounding us, we love you guys and we always worry about you all. Also, just please remember, if you ever wind up in a situation where you feel compelled to go to the battle of your brothers, can't be on the hunt with you, you can message me anytime. I would be more than happy to come support you, brother. Watching those episodes with you all by yourself is absolutely... Okay, so I'm beginning to see that it's almost like they didn't post everything. Like, I would love to continue that, but I can't continue that. So we are feeling the environment becoming brighter. It's easier to breathe, and the mood is so much better right now. I will continue to follow your directions and cleanse my home. I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for coming and battling for my little broken family. We love and appreciate you guys so much, and I will be praying for you in all your future investigations. Seems like the guy was actually genuinely grateful because he's, like, blowing them up with messages, right? So, like, that's literally like a whole short story of messages right there, and then they finally respond. 2 days later. You're welcome, brother, and glad to hear things are starting to look up for everyone. If you get the time, can you shoot a short, maybe 20-second or so update video? People always enjoy seeing updates at the end. We will keep you and your family in our prayers. Just keep pushing forward. I will say, Paranormal Nightmare, I didn't see anything that they were asking for in that little message. All I saw was you asking them to film a video for you as an update video. Okay, so I'm going to go back because I'm kind of confused. This is February 1st. Okay, so this, they just wanted information. Okay, I'm actually beginning to see now what Jed was talking about. I'm not sure if this actually helped you guys, because I'm beginning to see what Jed was talking about. And you did not defend yourselves in a good way, if this is what we're getting. I'm going to wait, because they have another post. Maybe you'll fix this, but I'm noticing on February 1st, he asked you guys for more information, right? And I guess that this might be him talking about another location that you guys might want to, like, investigate, I guess. Because he was sending a lot of messages. And then you guys responded with, you know, glad we helped, you know. And then you asked him to film a 20-second short video, update video, because people always enjoy seeing updates at the end. So that would have been something for your channel, I guess. I really don't know the context of that, but I guess that would have been something for your channel, right? A 20-minute update video, because you said, you know, people like to see that stuff. That's a weird place to put it. I found the next bit of that message. That next bit of that message, I've finally seen it. Come support your brother. Watching those episodes with you all by yourself is absolutely terrifying. I know you have your reasons for doing the things you do, and I'm the same way. But you don't ever have to go to the battle alone. I have been looking for reasons to use all the gear I gathered up to, and absolutely will never use it in my own home. LOL. There's that. And we'll go to the next. This looks like emails now. This looks like emails. This is on 11/4/23. Thank you so much for the response. I totally understand the schedule thing, so please don't stress over it. Feels much safer now that we may be able to figure it out. You can have the house as long as you need it. I'm sorry if I have bothered you, but I didn't want just anyone in this house contaminating the area, and it is attacking my daughter now and my ex-wife, even worse than before. It is touching us, and it is touching us now. And we have used some of our own equipment to try to verify that the events are authentic. We are not communicating or making contact with anything. Thank you. Sorry to hear about the things picking back up. Let me see what we can figure out in the schedule. I don't think we will need to do any sit-down interviews, basically just an update with you, and if we can get the place for 4 hours or so alone for our investigation. Also remove the cats prior to us investigating. I know last time a few things we had to go on from the cats. This was way we can really rule out that. Thanks, and be in touch soon. Okay, so they wanted the place alone for 4 hours, which Beardo did bring up that they did get the place by themselves, even when Jed apparently wanted to go into the house with them. They refused him, and they were very forward about them being in the house alone, so there is that. That is the truth. We will do an update video for sure. Going to keep liking and sharing and supporting as much as possible too. Thanks again, guys. I just got all the new cleansing supplies in the mail today. Thank you for the instructions as well. Hey, are you guys doing an episode of your findings in our house? We are interested in seeing what you guys found out about the place. The house is starting to act up again. Hey, where do we send the packages to? We want to send you some gifts. Okay, so okay, actually, I didn't even read the top. The last email was in December of 2023, then silence. Right. Foreman brothers, email-wise, fair. You're not really helping yourselves, though, in this at all, actually. I got to be frankly blunt. December of last year was the last email. Then why'd you post the email from 11/4/23? Because this is obviously happening on like your phone or Facebook Messenger. The messages that are being sent by Jed Lenneman with the profile picture. The last email was sent in December 2023, then silence. So are you saying that you sent him the last email and then it was silence, or was it him who sent the last email and then it was silence? I'm kind of confused here, because here it says in February, like he was sending you messages and then you guys weren't responding. Because then you would have shown your responses to these messages, right? It would have shown you're saying the last email was sent in December of 2023 and then silence. But here I'm seeing February from the messages that you're sending. Why didn't you post the ones from December if that was the case? I don't know. It's actually kind of making no sense to me. Yeah, 11/4/23. That's November if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you've kind of shown some proof of what Beardo and Jed were talking about when I'm not seeing a whole lot of replies from you. Like, the only reply I see was this one right here from February 7th. You are welcome, brother. Glad to hear things are starting to look up. Why don't you film us a 20-second video of an update? Okay. And he said he would. And then you never show us if you responded to these. Maybe someone asked? Whatever comes your way. Let me go ahead and do the newest ones first. Maybe someone asked recently. Oh, someone actually did. Look at that. Look at that. Why didn't you respond to those messages at the end? Everything became about hanging out and investigating together. even when filming, he would go from crying to being excited about us actually being in the house. We have done thousands of cases. Please find one person or client who said we were ever drunk. This guy is crazy, and these channels gave him a platform to spread his lies because we wouldn't let him join our group. I mean, that can definitely happen, to be frankly honest. But at the same time, you're kind of also... You're going off of that, which is fine if you want to go off of that. But in my opinion, if he was actually wanting, you could have just said in the text message, hey man, we really appreciate it. We really appreciate you and how much you care about the channel, but we really don't want to bring in, we don't want to bring in guests and casual, viewers to do investigations with us, because then everybody's going to investigate with us. And we just don't want to do that. It would be very stressful. I hope you can understand. It would have been nice to see a response like that, because that would have been a proper response, but you never showed us a response like that. You're just going off of that. And you're saying this guy is crazy and these channels gave him a platform. But technically, wouldn't it be said that you gave him a platform? I haven't seen your video, but I'm assuming that you probably had him involved in some way, right? I'm just going to assume you had him involved in some way in the video. So technically, you gave him a platform by bringing him on your channel. I think anybody could understand, a response like that. Like, hey, man, we really appreciate you, but we can't do that. And I hope you understand. It's nothing against you. It's just we got so much going on. And even he acknowledged that. Jed acknowledged that he knew you guys had a lot going on. But again, you never showed a response telling him that. And now you're out here saying he's crazy. I don't know. It's not very Christian-like. You guys apparently come off as like big Christians. Now you're calling the guy crazy. Yet you never responded to him telling him that. You just said, make a 20-second response video so we can show everybody. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm not really getting that. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. It's sad that people ignore the facts. Even the facts that you've shown weren't really all that good. I'm not saying everything Jed said was 100%. Again, even Beardo acknowledged there's really no factual, we can't prove that there was drinking involved. We can't prove some things. Of course we can't. But at the same time, you haven't shown proof of a lot of the things they were saying. When he said that you guys wanted the house to yourself, well, there is a message that says that you asked for the house for 4 hours by yourself. So when he says that he tried to be a part of the investigation because they are, let's say, factually involved with what's going on, which is what you're trying to do anyways. You're trying to help them. You're trying to put them at ease. You never gave them the opportunity to do that. Maybe they wanted that shot at trying to find actual sensible peace in that house, but you never gave him that opportunity, and there it is right there. Yeah, Foreman brothers, I'm not seeing a good response here. And I was really actually I was giving you a shot to say something that would have made sense to me. The things he was saying are kind of, in a sense, true, because you're not responding, and then you say the last email was sent in December of 2023, but I don't see a message here that is saying December of 2023. Please comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Is there something I'm missing here? If there's any more information on this, let me know as soon as possible. All right. Take care, everybody.
If you can't stay, can't start to through, you won't be meant to.